Alrighty YouTube, it's your boy Zxous, and we're back with another Goddess of Victory Nikke video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about if you should obviously be summoning for Helm or chasing dupes for Helm, or if you should continue summoning for ANIS / chasing dupes for ANIS, right? Obviously, Helm has been out for less than 24 hours, but I'm not even going to sit around and cope with you guys. I'm not even going to entertain the people who want to try to cope for this character. It's not hard to really tell you how this character is gonna go on from like this point on. So before we get into that, make sure you guys subscribe and like, and yeah, remember, don't follow your dreams, follow my Twitter, right? Links in the description. KW. But honestly, Helm is a character that, again, like I didn't expect her to, you know, be good, but like I don't know why, but with these two characters, it's something else. For ANIS, I expected her to be good, but then she surpassed my expectations, right? I expected Helm to be bad, and then she passed my expectations even more by being horrendous, right? Like, the problem is this character is a Kwame Brown type level character, a Jordan Poole type level character, bro. She does nothing. This is like a Logan Paul type character. And then you got a Floyd Mayweather. Like, you know, the problem is, let's talk about Helm first, right? So the only reasons why I would say first to sub in for Helm, of course, is because you love Helm. Really? And that's it. That's it. Because you love Helm. Right? The problem is she's a burst 2 attacker, right? But the thing is, in this game, burst 2 attackers don't really do much, right? In terms of like damage, right? When it comes to when it says burst 2 attackers, right? It doesn't matter if they're an attacker when it comes to burst 2, because they don't do much, right? It's like almost every burst 2 character is just every burst 2 attacker is just a supportive character, right? Because they're not going to do damage. The only one that does damage is literally Guilty. And it's only because of her first skill, where she duplicates attack of the ally with the highest attack, and that stacks. What? And not only that, she gives herself more of an attack buff on her second skill, right? Like, that's the only reason why she does insane damage. But if you notice, Rupee is a character, they all have like supportive mechanics, right? Rupee does decent amount of damage because she stacks attack for herself, right? And then obviously in another attack buff on her burst skill. We're gonna come back to Helm. Nylister does only damage, but we're gonna talk about her too, because I've noticed both Nylister and Helm, they both end up doing damage, and they both seem to do like they're supposed to do a lot of damage, right? Final attack everywhere, but they both ended up doing nothing, right? And it's weird because why? Both these two characters, when we looked at their kit, I guess I know why, right? When we all looked at their kit, we're like, oh, they're gonna do very, very good, right? But the problem is it's their multipliers. You will never see a burst 2 attacker with a first or second skill that is gonna do damage. Well, like there's none, right? They're all supportive mechanics. These are all supportive mechanics, right? So the only ones that can do damage on their skills are literally 1 and 2. Yeah, literally 1 and 2. But if you notice, their numbers are horrendous, right? Their percentage, right? So burst 2s, regardless, will never do numbers, no matter how crazy their kit looks, because their numbers are very low. Deal 81 or 87% of final attack as damage. That's nothing. Right? That's nothing. Deals 28.63% of final attack. Affects all enemies that get hit. That's nothing. The burst skill deals 125% to all enemies within range. The burn deals 10% of final attack every 1 second for 10 seconds. That's a total of what? 200%? That's nothing for a burst skill, right? Like, that's why these characters will never end up doing damage. And like I always say, a burst 2 who doesn't do damage, they're supposed to compensate by supporting, right? Almost every burst 2 character has some type of supportive role for the team. Obviously, Rupee's is an attack buff. Helm's is literally the cooldown burst and then the damage taken up. not dogs. Nihilisters is literally going to be the burn effect, and then obviously like she has support mechanics for herself, right? Viper, attack buff and stuff, and so on, so on. They all have like supportive mechanics, right? So there's no reason summoning for this character because her supportive mechanics are just not worth it. What are you doing with this character? You're not gonna tell me you're summoning on a character, because I want to say the most you're gonna get this character to, if you're being realistic, is level 5 or 4 skills. At level 5, the damage taken buff is only at 4.35%. So that's what, maybe 31-ish percent? Or not 31, 21% increase in total to an electric code enemy. Like, it's only going to be useful against bosses and still not even going to be worth it, right? It's not worth it whatsoever. And then the cooldown is cool and whatever, but it's like, I'm not summoning on a character because they have a cooldown of the burst skill that 10 other characters already got. Doesn't really make sense. So when it comes to this character, she has to be honestly one of the worst limiteds we have seen, and it's because burst 2s will never do damage regardless of how much they put final attack. Their percentages are just horrendously low, right? The only way I could make this character probably start doing decent amount of damage is if I sell my soul, sell my family, and rob the bank. Full level 10 gear, max perfection overload gear, max effects on the overload gear, level 10 cube, core 7, max attract, right? And you know what's so weird? People actually say just do this, as if people can really just do this out of their ass, right? So Helm is really just an iffy character. Now, when it comes to ANIS, your gems are just way better spent here because the moment you get one copy, you've already beaten the game. But the thing is, she's a character who just gets better with more copies, right? So essentially, by going for more copies of this character, you're literally just, you're getting gems worth, right? You're getting gems worth. The more you get for this character, the better she is than what you had before. Right? One dupe of ANIS is better than your no dupe ANIS. 2 dupes of ANIS is better than your ANIS with only 1 dupe. 3 dupes, like, and it goes on. The more dupes is better than your previous version, right? So this is a character that is fantastic because obviously her numbers are great. Deals 382% of final attack damage to 2 enemies, right? She increases her attack insanely, reload speed insanely, damage a strong element insanely, reload speed even more, and decreases her ammo capacity. And the last bullet has to hit for all this to proc, by the way, right? It's a fantastic character, right? She is a burst 3 though. I think if she was a burst 2, this number would not be at 300%. That would probably drop to 100 something percent, and then she would do no numbers, right? But she'd probably do something actually, because like if she still had all these, she's still gonna have the 1 bullet, right? The reason why she's hit so hard is because she's able to spam that second skill. Imagine being able to spam 382.42% of final attack damage to 2 enemies like 20 times. I think the calculations was 15 times in 10 seconds. You do the math of how much percent is being dealt there to 2 enemies. It's quite insane, right? So at the end of the day, your gems, your investment, your time is just worth going to this character, even after Helm, right? I'm not going to sit here and cope and say, oh, there should be more testing, because when it comes to a character like this, you can't really test much. You're not testing her damage because she's not giving it to you, right? And then you're not going to tell me you need days to test the cooldown of a burst skill that you've been tested since the day of release, right? Dollar Hello has the same effect. And then the damage taken debuff to the enemy is like, it's cool, but it's like electric boss. Who's an electric boss? Gravedigger is actually SI Gravedigger, but am I going to use this character as SI Gravedigger? No. Why would I? If I'm talking in a perspective where I have like majority of the characters and I have the bunny girls, why would I use, Helm for the damage reduction over Blanc and Noir regardless? Because Noir is like the best character for Gravedigger, right? And if I have Blanc, it's like I might as well just run those two, right? This character is not even going to be good on Gravedigger like that. So I don't think this is a character you need to summon for whatsoever. Like, you could go for waifu material, sure. Even if you care that much about the cooldown, like, you could do whatever you want at the end of the day. I'm just giving you my opinion. I think, honestly, this is a banner 1000% skip. Because there's no genuine reason to summon. There's no genuine reason. You're not gonna tell me you're willing to spend up to 20 multis because she has a cooldown reduction. Just when you say, if you are one of those people saying something like that, just say it out loud 3 times and think about what you said. I'm going to spend 20 multis on HELM'S banner, not because I like Helm, because she has a cooldown skill burst, basically cooldown of burst skill reduction. Like, what are we talking about? No, Helm is a character that's worth your money, your gems, your time, your efforts, your every investment. This character, she has 13 days left. For the 13 days you want to keep summoning, go as much as possible in this banner, because once she leaves, she's most likely never coming back. And I say that because we've never had a rerun. Not to mention, if they do a rerun, Neon and Mary are going to get rerun first. You're not going to have like 4 new summer characters next year and then rerun 4 summer characters. There's no way they're doing that. So you guys got to be realistic as well, right? Unless they like fit them on the banner somehow. I don't know. But yeah, literally 13 days left. Just focus all your efforts on this banner. Get as much copies as you need to, because I do think getting as much copies as you need to is worth it. Is it fine only 1 copy? Yes, you're fantastically good with only 1 copy. But a character like this, who's at Pilgrim level, who is not going to come back. Imagine if Modernia, okay, let me word it like this. Imagine if Modernia never came back, or if you couldn't pull Modernia after her banner, right? That's literally what ANIS is, right? She's like Scarlet and Modernia if they had a rate up banner, but they never came back into the game, as like you can never summon for them no matter what after their time left, right? How much people would be Modernia and Scarlet list if they were rate up banners, like limiteds, right? That never came back. How bad would that be? So ANIS is literally your best thing. She's the closest thing to those characters, right? In most situations, in some situations, she's actually surpassing those 2 or being right on par with those 2 with Pilgrims. And she's a supporter. She's a supporter. Both Modernia and Scarlet are attackers. She is a supporter. Go ahead and invest all your gems into ANIS here. But you guys let me know what you think. It's your boy Zxous. I'll see you guys next one. I'm out. Peace.